What's up, Raiders? Okay, this is the class. Project and Portfolio 1 Game Design Online. Now, I've enjoyed my journey through Full Sail so far. I haven't really complained about much. Even though it might not have been relevant, it was still taught very well and I could understand it and pick it up. Now, with this class, I hated this class. Okay, this class was the worst. Where it messed with my mental status. It was rough. Okay, let's just jump into it and I will try to explain the horror that is this class. So it looks pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so now you're probably thinking, oh, we're gonna make something for our project and like for a portfolio that we sort of created in design tools, right? Well, you kind of would be wrong and you kind of would be right. What this class is more C#. At the end of the day, it's more learning about programming. So essentially it's 2 months of programming straight. But this class, what they do is they're really hands off, which is, I kind of understand and I kind of don't, but if you've never, this is my kind of theory on it. If you've never programmed in your life, okay, wait, let me back up. Okay, let me slow that. Okay, back. Okay, so to make this make sense, so what I'm gonna explain what this course actually is. Okay, so what is it? What we're doing is we're creating. At the end of this class, we should be able to create the card game War. If you remember War, you might be young, you might not know, but it's 52 card deck. Whoever has the highest suit, you split the cards in half. Whoever has the highest suit wins the battle and takes the cards. Whoever has the only way you can win is if you take all the cards from the other player. Okay, so that's what you're doing, and you're going week by week, and these ILAs are supposed to help you learn how to create what you need to turn in, like the code for this. So like you're going to create the playing card class. So this is right here. So this is going to be the first thing, and then you create that, and then you move on to the second week. Now you're probably thinking, oh man, or maybe you're not thinking this at all, what if I bomb, say my week one, say if I come here and I don't really understand it and I turn it in, and the idea is you're supposed to keep building on this project with your own code, which you would think, but no. So because people were struggling, they changed it where even if you didn't do well the first week, they still provide you with the code for the second week. You can still continue on, so everybody's at an even level. That's good and all, but where it gets me is this is supposed to be a portfolio of showing your work. So by the end of the week, the end of the fourth week, the only really code that's yours is the week you worked on, because every time you're downloading the new template and starting to work. So you're not even really, even if you finish it, you're not really even getting a portfolio piece, because it's everybody's doing the same thing and the teacher is doing all, like essentially all the work behind there. And it just kind of made me mind boggling right there. I was just like, okay, so that was that. And then there's no help from the teachers. There's no help from the teachers' aides. The tutoring that they offer here through Full Sail is taught by the tutors are students that are essentially in your class but farther along in the course. So they're not really professionals to be able to help you with it. So it's very hands off. It's very scary. It gave me a lot of anxiety. As you can see, my final living card game, I didn't even finish it. This is probably the lowest grade I've ever had. Luckily, I was able to keep my grade high with all the other ones, so I was able to pass with an A minus, just enough to knock me out of that 4.0 range. But I should be getting it back here in the next class. And then what it is kind of, the first 3 weeks are very hectic, like I said, and then it's like, oh, okay, week 4, and it's very easy. And then you start looking and you're like, hey, oh, we're actually starting to learn about the engines now, which is exciting, right? Unreal Engine. And then you're like, what are blueprints? And then you learn about blueprints, and then you learn about you learn about blueprints, and then the end of the the end of the class, there's this lecture here, and it's kind of like a send-off. And what the guy explains is he's like, okay, everything that you've learned from last month, C#, and or intro to programming, and this class, we're not going to touch that ever again. So you're never going to use from now on. You learned all that stuff, and now you're never going to use it unless you are going to use Unity, because Unity uses C#. But for this course, the rest of the course, we are going to be working in Unreal and using blueprints and C++. We might not even learn C++ because that's more of the game development or game design. But blueprints is essentially a visual way to do what you've been doing the past 2 months. And it's like a godsend, and it's amazing. It still takes a little bit to learn. But with just this class, I just, everybody was upset. No student was like, there was only a couple students that actually understood it and finished and was like, okay, I'm tracking, I got this. Everybody I've talked to in my social circles and students and everything like that, they hated this course. They probably ripped it a new one. It's just, it needs to be reworked. It needs to be made where it's more user friendly, and maybe not even make it a project and portfolio class. Maybe just make it another month of programming and then go into project portfolio and then make something. And then what the audacity of this though is, once you get to the end, the teacher's like, okay, now that you've made the card game and you turned it in, I challenge you to make a game on your own. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there like, okay, I barely made it through. How do you expect, like, obviously it's not for a grade. It's just like, but it's saying, oh, well, since everybody's going to have the card game in their portfolio, you might as well go above and beyond and make your own little game and see if you can do it. But it's like, how do you expect us to make a, like, even the assignments, how do you expect us to make a card game war in Visual Studio and coding if we've never made a game before, right? Like, most of us have never made a game and like have worked on this. They're brand new to this. So it's just like, you don't have that knowledge to be able to pull from and be like, well, okay, I made this game, which was kind of similar to what they're asking me to do. Okay, let me start here. It's very like, okay, go ahead, figure it out. Like, there's no steps. It's like you have to learn something and then translate it. Like, and it's like, okay, so we're making a card game, and this is already going a little long, but we're making a card game, but everything you learn about, like the assignments that are supposed to help you make this card game, are not related to it, and the lectures aren't either. Like, it's like, okay, like one of the lectures, it's like, oh, this is how you make a backpack, and it's like, okay, but I need to make a card game. How does that translate? I have no recollection. I have no prior knowledge. How is this supposed to happen? And it's like, oh, well, you're supposed to know that's the deck. That means the deck, and that's how you're supposed to use. I'm like, this class is just, I hope just really crack down on C#, and you'll be fine. If you understand C# and you are really tracking and you get it, like, you'll get through this class. But like, I even have a 91 I got, but it's still like, it was mentally, physically making me sick. But I also have mental issues and bipolar and things like that. So, but this class, oh, I'm so glad I'm out of this class. Once you get out of this class, it drops down in difficulty exponentially. It's like, okay, this is like the final plateau, and then the next class we're going to talk about is just like, okay, we're going downhill again. So with that being said, I can't really give you too many tips or really explain it. You just kind of have to go through it and go through the lectures, and it's going to be rough. But if you have questions, always remember, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them the best I can. Yeah, I hate this class, guys. I can't say how much I hate this class. I know all my friends hate this class. I'm so glad I'm out of it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. It went a little long in my ranting, but it's just like everything was wrong with this class and there's no help. So just be prepared. I even after this class, I even got private tutoring just to be on the safe side. So down the road, if I run into something, I can have help. And I look at it as kind of an investment for me. But yeah, I'm rambling. Thanks again for watching. Tune into the next video. Always check out the Twitch. The next video is going to be the fundamentals of physical science. That's what I'm in now. So look forward to that video when it comes out later. Peace out, guys.